What's happening, everyone? Yep, back at the gym, and I'm doing another abdominal workout. How I can't emphasize how important it is that I have a strong set of core muscles for alpine downhill ski racing, not only for performance, but definitely injury prevention, especially for someone in their 40s who wants to get into a very high risk sport that puts a lot of physical demand on the whole body, not just the lower or core muscles, but even the upper body. And even if I were to take a wreck, that definitely would not be good. But you definitely want to have as prepared. I want to definitely be as prepared as possible because sometimes things can go wrong. And worst case scenario, I'm being hauled down in a toboggan. Best case scenario, I get back up and do it again. So anyhow, this workout I call the 4x40 with 1,000 meters of rowing. Essentially, it consists of me doing 4 different abdominal exercises. You can really do any exercise that works the core muscles, and you can make modifications to any of these exercises to either make them easier or more difficult. And so in between each ab exercise I hopped on the rower and did 250 meters at a moderate to tempo pace. I wasn't going all out. The goal was just to be able to keep my heart rate up. And I'm doing that so that I can kind of help burn some of my excess stomach fat. And so I do 4 abdominal exercises with 250 meters of rowing in between each ab exercise, and I'm doing 40 reps of each of these exercises. Now, here is what I call the dynamic plank. And yes, I'm going to admit my form sucks here. And I know I look like a fish out of water. I'm just going to say that myself. And it's possible because I knew I was trying to get 40 reps in here. But ideally, the goal here is the only part of your body that should really be moving are your arms and maybe a little bit of your shoulders. Everything else should be staying flat. So this is kind of good for me because I'm kind of self-critiquing myself, and that's good because having proper exercise form in the gym is also very important because that's the worst place I need to try to or not try. That's the worst place I could get injured in is the gym. I mean, go figure. I mean, I'm getting into a sport that's very dangerous, and then I end up getting injured in the gym. That would not be cool. So yes, I definitely got to work on my form on that exercise. This next exercise is the leg raise. The goal here is just to try to keep your legs as straight as possible. And I raise them up to 90 degrees, and then I'll lower them down to about 6 inches off the ground, maybe a little higher, but you want to try to lower them as much as possible without touching the ground. You don't want to give yourself any advantage by having that rebound effect when you hit the ground. And as far as head placement goes, in the military, they always had us have our head off the ground. They figured it made the exercise more challenging. It's personal preference whether or not you want to have your head resting on the ground or off the ground. For me, I guess it's just kind of stuck with me to have my head off the ground. Once again, I'm doing 40 repetitions. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to show all my rowing intervals on here. I figured that would get kind of redundant watching me row 4 different times. And here we see me on my final exercise. I believe some people call these jackknives. I'm not exactly sure on the name of this particular exercise, but the goal here is you want to come up as you see me doing here, and my goal was just to try to be able to touch my knees on every rep. To make this exercise more challenging, you can definitely try to reach for your toes and like hold it for 2 seconds on each interval. Or, I mean, as I said earlier, you can definitely make modifications to many of these different exercises to make them either more easy or more challenging. Well, this is one of many different abdominal workouts I like to do. Uh, Once again, thanks for all of your support. And if you haven't, feel free to subscribe. There'll definitely be a lot more ski exercise and blogging videos, and of course, a combination thereof. So yeah, the best thing you can do, especially if you're finding yourself feeling down or something, is just get out there and just do like five or 10 minutes of a brisk walk, do jumping jacks, or just maybe do some of these exercises you see me doing here. Because in the end, if you want to be able to do anything at any age, keep up, keeping up with your physical activity and having a decent diet is the way to go. And then that way you can pursue your dreams no matter what your age.